It would have been a very bad idea that if I left at 5 o'clock to go play golf and I was expecting my team to work till 10, right? Bad idea. Anything in life where you want disproportionate outcomes, you need to invest time.
I've had this very complicated conversation with a lot of people. I think there should be no gender quotas.
The value judgment is not because of what the culture is, it's because what you expected it to be.
And what it is.
Some percentage is going to EMI, बच्चा का education,
yeah.
घर बच गया 2 हफ्ते की छुट्टी. Life was good. It's complicated, man. I think culture itself is complicated, and I think we're all grappling.
Welcome to our third episode of
A podcast which is called This Living Room, in case you forgot.
This Living Room. This living room because it's shot in this living room. The podcast is about
Culture.
No, what's the podcast about?
Oh, not this episode,
Yeah.
but generally the podcast. Oh, the podcast is about things to do with advertising and marketing. But this episode has got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but there's also a deeper, darker theme. It's to do with advertising and marketing, but it's also built on the premise that both of us disagree on a lot of things, and we just thought it would be great to have that disagreement out there to be recorded, but also to come to a middle ground at some point in the conversation.
But this,
Or not.
This Banta.
Has been sponsored by,
What brand is this?
I don't know.
Ivy, what brand is this?
This is that.
Whatever this Banta is very good. That we can agree on.
Yeah.
Bombay Banta, very good.
This podcast has been sponsored by
No,
Bombay
it's,
Banta.
no, it's not. We're just making it up. We don't have any sponsors.
Yeah, so as Adi was saying, we're going to talk about culture. Very, 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 very loaded topic. But it should make for an interesting conversation.
What is culture?
There was this word in this movie called, where someone said Fugazi. What is, you remember which movie it was? Fugazi.
I have no memory.
Fugazi. I can't remember.
So
Anyway,
you have to make references in a podcast which you remember. You can't.
but I have a shit memory. I can't remember most
Yeah,
of
so
the
don't
time.
make references.
They can just Google Fugazi movie.
Okay,
They'll find-
continue where you wanted to
Anyway,
go.
so I mean, I think that is what culture is. It's
I don't know what Fugazi is. Explain to me what Fugazi is. You just
Fugazi is something that you can't really touch, feel, explain. It's just. Psh. I don't think you can define culture. I don't, and people have tried. A lot of companies.
It's magic.
No, it's something you feel.
God.
I've never felt God, so I don't know. God may have tried to feel me.
Unlikely. But yeah, so what is culture? You can't just say that it's something that you can't feel.
No, I'm saying it's something that you can feel. I don't think you can put into words. I think you can feel it.
Okay. Let's try.
Like when you walk into a house, when you walk into this house and there are people here,
Given
you
that
feel a vibe.
Given that your job is to put things in words,
Yeah.
let's try putting culture. Where will you go? As in, what is culture? Metaphors will work. Anything. As in, where will you go with culture? Give me a tagline for culture.
But I can't give you a fucking tagline for culture, but I think it's a.
Dude, it's a campaign.
It's a
I'm a
feeling.
brand. My brand is culture. I've come to you for a tagline. Give me a fucking tagline.
Either feel it or don't. I think that needs to be that thing.
Either feel it or don't. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You either fit in or you don't fit in.
Okay. So let's kind of let's look at 2-3 working definitions. Okay. So I think it's collective consciousness at some level.
Okay.
It's a rule book which is not put on paper.
Okay.
Okay. It's how it's collective consciousness rule book which is not put on paper.
But it is put on paper. Like companies go through these very large exercises where they write out the culture statement.
Yeah, so writing out culture statements is one part of culture, right? Where you and organizations need to do that, right? But culture is slightly more than that, right? Culture is not put on paper. Culture is essentially collective consciousness, right? So, and let's take a example of a subculture. Okay, so the Harley owners group, in some sense, is a subculture, right? There are no written codes of conduct. The organization has a written code of conduct, right? So the events, the races, etc., will happen a certain way.
Yeah.
Right. People have to pay a membership fees, etc. But how people behave there,
Yeah.
right? How people dress up, what clothes they wear, what brands they choose, that's not written.
No.
Right. So it's essentially a rule book without it being written. It's collective consciousness, right? It's us versus them. Who's an insider? Who's an outsider?
Correct. Yeah, yeah. So when you walk into a Harley event, that's what I'm saying. Either you'll fit in, or you won't fit in.
Yeah.
Right. It's not going to be a, maybe I fit in here kind of.
No, there will be a maybe. Not everybody will. So
no, gut feel to hai na, matlab.
So okay. So here's how it is, right? So culture is like, think of it like concentric circles, right? There'll be some people who'll be right bang in the middle, who'll do everything, who'll basically be very cultish about their culture, right? Whichever culture is it. There'll be some people who'll subscribe to 80%, but the 20% of things they'll be like, not me. Then you keep widening that, and there'll be some people on the fringe as well. They associate only partly, but a large part of it they don't. But they're still part of that culture. So it's exactly like this. It works out like that. Not everybody is fully 100% subscribed, right?
True. I was going with the metaphor of walking into a house where there are guests, right? You walked into mixed groups of people at
all the time. Yeah.
Be it a house party or an office thing or whatever it is, right? And even though there are mixed groups of people, there is a collective energy.
Yeah.
Right? And you walk into that space and something in your mind goes, you know what? I'm probably going to stay here for the rest of the evening. Or something in your mind goes, no fucking way. I've come, not my scene. I'm going to check out. Or you stay for a bit, have one drink and you fuck off.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But inherently, I think I mean, whether you sort of really vibe with the place or you don't vibe with the place. Which is why I said vibe. Why it's so difficult to explain vibe.
Yeah, but it's more than vibe, right? So how is culture built? Right? Culture is built on predictable actions by people who drive that culture. Okay, and I'll give an example. Culture is demonstration of actions. If in a given situation, so let's say if an intruder comes into your house, right? There are cultures where it is perfectly okay to use arms and ammunition and shoot the person down, right? That's completely acceptable and it's a form of self-defense, right? In certain cultures, it's not. Certain cultures won't. Certain cultures will say, yeah, you have a right to defend yourself, but don't kill the other person, right? But demonstration of that behavior is what builds that culture, okay? So it's not just the vibe, it's what people do.
But the vibe is built from what people do.
Yes. So the precursor, the vibe is an outcome.
Vibe is the outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But
I'm talking about someone walking into a space.
Yeah. So
that's the outcome.
So it's like a lot of companies, right? So let's get back to companies. A lot of companies say, oh, our culture is this, our culture is that. If you're not walking the talk, right? If you're not doing what you're saying, then that culture,
then it's not being built.
Yeah. So which is why the culture statement or the culture document is essentially only like 10% of the job, right? As 90% of it is in the doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in some sense, unwritten rules, collective consciousness, and consistently demonstrated behavior by a large majority of people who are part of the culture is in my head a good working definition of what culture is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so in my career sort of trajectory, there have been agencies like Ogilvy, this McCann, JWT, whatever, these agencies that I've walked into, right? And you can tell when you spend some time in those places, you can tell, and it's not about the work, right? Because the work more or less is similar, if not same. It's about the people, it's about how you feel at that place. It's about, how strict are people about this fingerprint thing? You have to log in your fingerprint and then come or sign out or whatever. Can people walk around in clothes they feel comfortable in, this or whatever? And it differs to such a great extent from place to place.
Yeah.
Right? And that now when companies say that, oh, this is a document, right? This is who we stand for. This is what we do. It's great on paper, but if the outcome, which is the vibe, if the outcome is not matched, then it makes zero sense.
Yeah. No,
I think culture is honestly, like for smaller outfits, I think culture is built from people. Like I will build the culture of the voice company the way I am. I'm not going to build something which I am not, right? And
Yeah.
at a much larger scale, this is something I don't know the answer to. At a much larger scale, like at a corporation level, it's not one person, right? It's
Yeah.
so how do you build culture at a enterprise level?
So
How
this
do you
is this
set-
is very interesting, right? So, and somebody told me this a long time back, and I don't remember who, but it stuck with me. 80-90% of your experience from a cultural standpoint in an organization is your manager. Okay. Imagine walking into a company which for everybody else is mind blowing, right? As in you completely in line with the culture, it gives you, does, says whatever you want, it does that. But you got a shit manager. You are fucked. Your experience.
Your experience is fucked, but I don't think the
Yeah,
person will walk out thinking that this place I was working at was a fuck all place.
Yeah, but
that person will walk out thinking this manager I had was a fuck all manager.
Yeah, but the manager and the company in your head is
They're not the same.
It's pretty much the same.
No, it's not the same at all. Haven't you worked at really, really good places with very bad managers or very bad places with excellent managers? I've had both of these experiences. And
I've more or less been lucky that way. Like I've had good managers, and I've had places where culturally it's been very good. And so I've not had that experience. But so even within my organizations, right, as in where I have been, some people have had experiences where for them the manager was not great, and the rest of what was happening didn't really matter, because essentially a large part of your experiences was from the manager. So which is where I'm coming from, right?
No, I understand, but I'm saying that I think at a personal level, you like, okay, so if this person were to, let's say you've been at this place, right, and you've had a terrible manager and whatever, right, and I come to you and say, hey Adi, I'm planning on applying for a job here. What do you think? What you're going to possibly tell me is that, look, if you have to report to this guy, don't fucking go. The place is not a problem. Place is fine. You can join the place.
Probably, yeah, probably.
So I think we draw a distinction.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, from the perspective of how the experience of the person is shaped, a large part of it is the manager, which coming to what
part of it is the manager.
Yeah, which coming to how these things get built across enterprises, right?
Now, if the manager was setting the culture of that place, that place would have been humped.
Yeah. So essentially, so the way we've kind of been doing this at 367 for a while, right? We're very anal about culture, and we're very anal about how we want to build this. And very early on, with the people who've been with us, right, the early team which has been there, and we've been telling the early team that like, so Vishay and I are the founders, right? And Sumit has kind of joined us as a third founder here. As the company keeps growing, as we get more and more people, our interaction with the team will reduce with time, right? That's bound to happen. So people who've been with us, they become the torchbearers of the culture, right? And first of all, they have to understand, they have to appreciate, they have to agree largely with the culture you're trying to build, right?
Correct.
And then they become torchbearers, and which is where it becomes difficult, as in essentially then hiring decisions become important. A large part of the hiring is obviously technical skill set, functional capability. A large part of the hiring is culture fit as well.
Correct.
Right? Otherwise you can't take this forward.
This culture fit, right? And it's such an important thing to talk about, I think, that how do you map out a culture? How do you say after an interview, yes, this person fits my culture, or this person does not fit my culture? What are those things that you look for?
Okay. So the process is simple, right? You might get it wrong, but from a process standpoint, it's very simple, right? So suppose you articulated 4 or 5 values which best demonstrate your culture.
Okay.
Okay.
What values would?
Yeah. So for example, we say that customer focus is very important. Taking ownership is very important. Integrity is very important. Pursuit of excellence is very important, right?
But if I were to say that these exact same words will work any place. They should work any place.
It should, but for us, these are important, right? It could be important, and this could be important to 10 different people. Okay. Now, and they're linked, right? So integrity is linked to pursuit of excellence. In the pursuit of excellence, if a person is willing to compromise on integrity, that doesn't work, right? So I'm just giving you that example, right?
So how do you test all of this?
Yeah, so I'll tell you. I'll tell you. So the way to test this is to essentially go behind asking for situations in the past where you could demonstrate these things. See, the thing with values and how values link with culture is that values are demonstrable in life. If you have, either you have these values or you don't, right? So pursuit of excellence is a very good way to, is a very easy thing.
But everyone will say they have these values. It's
No.
like, it's like asking someone, are you honest or dishonest?
No, so you're asking the question. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You're asking the question. I'm asking for a situation in life where you had to demonstrate that. So for example, people come back and say that, so pursuit of excellence, one part of it is academic behavior, right? But I don't limit it to academic. There are people who are very functionally capable who might not have excelled in academia, okay? The easy metric for excellence is academia, right? If you have performed well consistently through your academic career, you have that capability in you. You've demonstrated it. Suppose you have not, right? And you come and tell me that I've been interested in performing arts. I like music. Okay. Have you learnt it? Yeah. How many years? What level? What did you do? Sport. Reading, right? Depth in reading. Anything which demonstrates depth in any field of your choice is an indicator that this person is aligned towards pursuit and excellence, and so on and so forth. So you don't ask the question. That's a stupid way of gauging it. The way to gauge is to look at finding situations in life where you were given the opportunity to demonstrate it, and did you or did you not? Now you can come back and say that people fibbed, right? Now, if somebody is fibbing through the interview, you'll figure it out over time, but largely most people wouldn't to that extent, right? So there are ways to gauge it. It's not that you can't. If there is good value fitment, there is likelihood that there's good culture fitment as well.
So you're saying values and culture is the same?
It's not the same. I'm saying if there is good value fitment, there is good culture fitment. It's not the same. There could be things in culture which are beyond values as well, right? As in, for example, personal political beliefs of the leadership team could be different from the organization, right? But will have a role to play in the organization's culture.
So let me ask you a question. At the voice company, there is a standing rule for everyone that you have complete free will to question anyone's idea.
Yeah.
And have a discussion about it.
Yeah.
Right? So just because suppose we are working on a campaign and all of us are brainstorming, all of us are coming up with ideas. I also come up with an idea, right? They can bomb my idea. People who work with me can bomb my idea, not a problem. Yeah. But have a conversation, tell me your points, right?
Yeah.
And challenge my authority.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that's been a part of the voice company since I began. Now, if I'm looking to hire someone,
yeah,
how would I test this?
Ask these questions.
What?
Like you put cases where you give your point of view, right? And it could be, let's say that, so the way this podcast started, right? We were evaluating ads, and that's how the idea came that if our point of views were different, and if we do this will become interesting, right? Show an ad to a person, right? In an interview, give your opinion, ask opinion, give a contrary opinion. Does the person challenge you? You know whether the person will challenge you later on or not.
My sense is that out of 100 people that you interview, 99 are not going to challenge.
So they're bad hires, then they don't fit culture.
But you have to hire.
No, but then you have to live with it. So, okay. So another simple, easier way of doing this is that, so before interview, right? Do you send a culture document, etc. along?
Before an interview?
Yeah. Or as part of the JD, hey, this is the culture that we...
No, only post interview.
Okay, so let's say that you make a you articulate your expectations or the culture you want to drive pre-interview, right? In your JD, you have a section. So we believe all ideas within the voice company should be challenged. Everybody is free to challenge ideas within the voice company. Person comes aware, right? If the person hasn't read the JD, then it's a bigger problem, right? As in, if whatever document you've shared. If the person comes aware and then this process happens, then it's not a fit. It's as simple as that.
Okay, fair.
The answer exists. Now, see, the other thing is there is a lot of value judgment on culture, right? As in, people. The thing is, people say this is good culture and this is bad culture. You know what I'm saying? As in, a lot of conversations you'll have with even friends, right, who work in companies. यार company का culture अच्छा नहीं है.
How do you qualify that? Or quantify?
My first question is that is culture even good or bad?
I think yeah.
At a larger level.
I think yeah, absolutely. And I'll give you an example. At this one agency that I won't name because I don't want to be sued, I was there for a while, and the culture of that place. That we were talking about habits, right? I mean, how you demonstrate.
Yeah.
Almost 90% of the creative team would have to stay back till 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30, whatever time, till their bosses would leave. And I think that's fuck all. So to your
no. So hold on. Let's
is it bad or is it good?
Okay. So let me qualify this, right? There is an element of culture which either makes it, and again, I'm trying to not use words which are loaded. So I wouldn't say immoral, okay, but there are things in the code of conduct which are appropriate and inappropriate, right? So I believe that there is no room for inappropriateness at any level in an organization's culture. Okay.
It's not inappropriate.
Hold on. Let me come to. So I'm just classifying this before I even come to this point, right? If collectively everybody for who's trying to build that company, right? It matters that people work till 10 o'clock. Why is it good or bad?
Because this was not agreed upon. It's not that they're doing it willingly, which is why it's a bad thing.
It was not agreed upon, meaning?
Like when you're hired, this was not told to this
So
person.
were you told that, hey, this is very easygoing and you can leave whenever you want?
Expect regular office hours.
No, was it your expectation or was it explicitly told to you that?
Expectation laid down by society.
No, not society. Within this organization. So I'm saying this is an organization which is a set group of people, right?
But when I'm
hired. Hear me out. So this company is built of 50, 100 people.
Yeah.
Did these 100 people tell you that it's okay that you can have a chill life, leave at 6 or whatever, 5, 6,
no,
whenever you
tell
want?
me. When will they tell me?
Or so how did you assume that?
The assumption was made with the previous organizations I've been with.
Fair enough. But if they want to build differently, they want to build a company where everybody works till 10, then why is it good or bad?
Because the rest of the people, I'm not talking about the senior management, I'm talking about the rest of the people. The rest of the people doing it begrudgingly.
Yeah.
Is begrudging and grudging the same word? Doesn't mean the same thing, right?
No.
They were doing it grudgingly.
Begrudgingly. That's the right word.
Why not grudgingly?
No, now you were confusing. It's not grudgingly, it's begrudgingly.
You have a grudge and you do something
begrudgingly. Yeah. So coming back, expectation misalignment, right, is a leadership problem. Okay. So for example, if their expectation, suppose I was the leadership team in that company, right? And number one, whether I was demonstrating it. If I was working till 10 o'clock, it would have been a very bad idea that if I left at 5 o'clock to go play golf or go hang out with my family and I was expecting my team to work till 10, right? Bad idea. Suppose I was demonstrating that behavior and my leadership team was demonstrating that behavior, right? I choose to live my life where I want to work 20 hours and there are some people for whatever rhyme or reason who are willing to do the same as me, right? I'm building a company like that. That's fine. That's good.
And you would force everyone to stay back?
I wouldn't force it, but I would set those expectations upfront, right? And if you don't want to, don't work here.
But how is one to know?
Ask those questions. Like people, when I interview people, what do people ask me? People ask these questions. How many days a week do you work?
People ask those questions now.
Yeah.
You never asked these questions when you were interviewing at places?
Because it didn't matter.
I never asked
It
those
didn't matter to me.
questions. People are asking now.
Yeah, because it didn't matter to me. What mattered to me was different. What mattered to me was getting into a tier 1 FMCG company.
Yeah.
So that is what mattered to me at that.
No, I'm saying it didn't matter to anyone back then. Nobody asked. It's not about you and
No,
me.
there were people who
Nobody
did. I
asked,
have had colleagues, right, in multinational FMCG companies as early as 2010, 2011, who chose a certain life, who said that, hey, listen, I'm going to come early because I come from Delhi to Gurgaon. I'm going to reach office at 8 o'clock, 7:45, 8. I want to leave by 4, right? They made those choices. They were also cognizant and accepting of the repercussion of those choices, right? That if, and again, this comes back to, and I've been called, this is hit me in earlier as well, but I'm going to just keep repeating this. Anything in life where you want disproportionate outcomes, whatever it is, right? It could be relationships with family, it could be your romantic relationship. You need to invest time. It's as simple as that. Wherever you want disproportionate outcomes, you have to invest time.
But why are you saying disproportionate outcome? It's a
disproportionate outcomes. So suppose you want to have the best relationship with your siblings, right? You have to invest time. You want to raise.
So proportionate. No, the more time you spend with your siblings, the better your relationship with them will
disproportionately be. Better outcomes.
Okay.
Right? As in, because eventually it just keeps stacking up. Same thing happens in an organization. If there are other people who are at your level who, for their reasons, have prioritized working 15 hours a day and you have prioritized 8. I'm not saying 8 is wrong. It's your choice.
Yeah.
And 15 is their choice.
Yeah.
Right. By the sheer amount of hours they are going to bring to the table, they'll be able to deliver more than you, assuming everybody is at similar level of capability, because that's how you get hired, right? I'm talking about people at the same peer level. If they are willing to put in more time, they will get better outcomes. They will deliver more for the organization. Hence, they will be rewarded better. You have to be okay with your choices. It's completely fine to chill, right? It's completely fine to take a life where I have other priorities. Or it's also okay that in certain times in your life, you might choose some other priorities, right? At this point in time, for example, family matters. I want to put in more time to family. And I want to do this for a year and a half. Later on, when I think things are okay or things are better or whichever I'm happier with it, I can devote more time to work, right? All those choices are fine, whatever choices you make. But it's just linked. So coming back, I'm saying good versus bad culture, right? Again, inappropriate, immoral, illegal things aside, it's not good or bad. It's something that you like or not, right? Why is there value judgment to it is something I don't understand. My problem is the value, like the statement that you made, right? It was fuck all. They were expecting me to work till 9:30 and 10. They were putting in the work themselves. Yeah.
No, but they would be coming into work at about some 2:30, 3 o'clock in the evening, in the afternoon, and go back home at 11:30, 12 at night, right?
Yeah.
But I was coming into work at about 8:30 in the morning.
So they were not living up to what they were wanting you to do. They were not doing the same thing as what you're saying.
Yeah, for them.
Yeah, so then it doesn't matter.
I could have walked in at 3 o'clock anyway.
So if had you walked in at 2 o'clock, they would have been okay, and then you could have stayed till 12, they would have been okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the way they were building, right? It didn't fit your life.
Correct.
It didn't fit your lifestyle, but you have a value judgment on it.
No,
My question is the value judgment.
I have a value judgment because I wasn't the only person there. There were many people like me there, right? And people would leave this place. Like there would be mass exodus happening. People would leave this place because it wasn't just me. It wasn't just fitting into my life. This was not the right way to work. There is a right and wrong. This was not the right way to work. If out of 10 people, 7 people are saying, look, this is not the right way to work. 3 people saying, no, this is the right way to work. There is a right and wrong. And it's not immoral. It's just right and wrong.
Why is it right or wrong? Why do you put a value judgment to is my only question, right? I want to work 4 hours a day. It's not right or wrong. I want to work 20 hours a day. That's not right or wrong.
I'm saying enforcing it to other people. I'm not talking about you. Like, for example, let's say I work on weekends, right? None of my team works on weekends. As a rule, we don't have working weekends. Yes, if there is a pitch that's come in and we have to
see, this is where we are getting into tricky land now. Now, if this happens and if that happens, right? You are leaving it to people's discretion. You are not going to hold a grudge against somebody who comes and says that if there is a pitch happening, if they are not available for the weekend, you're going to say okay.
No, I'm not going to say okay.
See, that's the problem, right? The expectation that you are setting.
This has been all told to them before they joined.
Everyone then it's not joins, then so okay. So then you, when you said that we don't have a working weekend, right? It's a binary statement to me.
No, it's not a binary statement because this conversation has happened with everyone who's joined the voice company saying we do not work weekends as a rule. However, there's a caveat to that. Maybe once in 6 months, there could be a working weekend for which you'll have to accommodate.
Which is fine. Perfect. Right? Absolutely with you, right? So, largely we are a non-weekend working company.
Yeah.
Occasionally we might work. Absolutely fine. What if you were trying to build a company where people work 7 days a week?
I would never build that company.
You would not, right? Imagine there's somebody, I would not either, but there's somebody who's building a 7-day working company.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They state it upfront. People join willingly.
Correct.
There's no problem. So again, the good or bad is the misalignment.
Correct.
In what is communicated.
Correct.
Versus
because if I'm joining, I'm signing up for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So then I can't fucking complain. Oh, but I'm working 7 days.
There you go. I'm saying, so again, so the value judgment is not because of what the culture is because what you expected it to be
and what it is,
right? So the gap. So in absolution, there's no value judgment to culture is what I was coming at.
In absolution, there isn't.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. In absolution, there is.
It's the gap, right? As in you were not told that, hey, I'm expected to work till 11 o'clock every day in office. And it's okay if you come at 2 o'clock, but you have to stay till 11.
Correct.
You signed up for a 9 to 6 while you were supposed to do a 2 to 11. There's a expectation reality mismatch.
Correct, absolutely.
Right? So it's not good or bad, right? But so just building from there, right? Like in today's day and age, what do you think what are people's expectations from organizations? As in, what do people expect?
So I think there's been a massive shift, right?
Yeah.
And with the newer generation coming into play here, they don't Gen Z doesn't function the same way we used to function for variety of reasons.
Yeah.
Variety of reasons, right? Now, what we wanted out of a workplace is very different from what Gen Z wants out of a workplace, right? I do think that
I'm going to fix the AC. Keep talking.
I do think that there is a misalignment there that's happening with workplaces right now, in the sense that this is what someone who's in that Gen Z workspace mostly, I'm not talking about exceptions here, wants versus the kind of pay that they also want versus the perfect, they want a job that somehow fits into their existing life, just like a smooth jigsaw puzzle. And I don't know if that's achievable. I don't know if that's sustainable, which is why you have a lot of people from the Gen Z population quitting very, very soon or being fired very, very soon.
Yeah, so see, so there's a major mismatch, right? As in what the younger generation today is expecting from an organization and from their job versus what they're getting. There's a massive mismatch. I think it's a leadership problem, and it's a leadership crisis fundamentally, right? You are holding on to aspirations of the past,
correct,
and structures and organizational
that
design
used to work in the past.
Even the way work is designed, right? So even if you think about it, right, the way we are also designing this, while we might claim that we are far more progressive, fundamentally our organization is designed the way organizations were designed 30 years ago.
Yeah.
What have I done? I have a D2C performance marketing team. I have a creative team. Within the creative team, there's art, there's copy. Then I have an analytics team. Then I have a marketplace quick commerce team, which manages all of that, right? Teams are structured. There is junior, senior leadership. Then there is founding team. It's exactly the same, right? design, the way work is designed is exactly the same, right? Work is also designed to deliver 8 hours of work 5 days a week, right? That's how work quantification is done, right? We are not changing that. While people have
I think
changed.
that this structure, do you honestly feel that this structure is going to change 3 years down the line?
If people really want to retain and grow good talent,
Why would this? What's wrong with this structure?
yeah, because see, the structure was designed for a very different life. Okay, this structure was designed for a life where, and this is post-industrial revolution, right? When there was white collar and blue collar work,
Yeah.
right? White collar work meant that you reached at 8 o'clock to office or 9 o'clock to office. You worked till 5 o'clock, then you lived your family life, right? And then you built life accordingly, right? Now, a large majority of people in that work group were potentially people who for the first time had earned professional degrees and were doing corporate jobs. They were building basic infrastructure in life, right? First houses. A lot of our parents are first time house owners, right? They've retired in the house. They took on credit, they paid EMIs, they took 2 weeks of leave and it worked for them. Some percentage is going to EMI, बच्चा का education, घर बच गया, 2 हफ्ते की छुट्टी, life was good because it was a building phase, right? Now, this generation doesn't have the same aspirations because they've been born into those houses. They don't have to build the first house, right? They don't have to send money back to the village to take care of old parents because the parents have become independent now. So there is a lot more economic freedom. A large part of this also is just access to information, right? Today, it's essentially global information which is available. Aspirations have become global. Our design is still the same. Our expectations are still the same. And I don't have the answer today, right? But at least I'm aware of the problem. I'm saying that.
But how would you possibly build out a structure of a company? How would you design a company to fit into the lifestyle of a generation?
You will have to, otherwise how else will you succeed?
But you don't think that there needs to be a structure to things?
No, there will, but the structure has to change. I don't know what the structure is, but this structure clearly is not working. It's not, it's simply not, right? So, one of the things that you saw, right, and yours is a remote organization, so is mine, right? Why do you think companies are rolling back? Why are people saying come back to office while we are not?
Because I have the answer to that. I know very well why. Because most people think work from home is a fucking vacation. I've had people who are not with me anymore. I've had people who would disappear. I would not be able to get in touch with them. They were not answering the phones. They were not present on calls. And they would say, there's bad connectivity.
These people, when they go to office also, would behave the same. They would not be on their desk. Even on their desk, they must...
No. There are certain things which you can enforce, and there are certain things which is left to your discretion. When you are working, when you are taking money from an organization as salary to provide a certain set of services, right? You're expected to provide those services.
I agree with you. So hold on.
There's a watchdog over you. Right?
No, I'm saying with or without the watchdog. If somebody is fundamentally unethical about work.
No, I don't think people are by and large, I don't think people are fundamentally.
No, I'm saying those cases that you specifically mentioned, right, where people would disappear. I'm saying for those people, the same behavior would continue even if you called them to office.
No, I don't think so at all.
Yeah, so that's where we disagree. I think people will go down.
There are people who
they'll go down for a smoke, spend 1 hour. If you call them, where were you? I was in that meeting room. I was sitting here. I was talking to this person.
I'm saying there are people who are fundamentally like that.
So my experience is very different. I have not had a single experience with anybody in my 40-member team where it's where we've even believed that this person is not putting in the requisite hours. Honestly, we are a client servicing business, right? As in, we are a everyday client servicing business. Performance marketing team has to be answerable every day. So the expectations are very clearly laid out that in working hours, in 9 to 6, you've got to be available.
Yeah.
Right? Not once has it happened.
Yeah, in a creative setup, it works little differently because we're not a client-facing organization.
Yeah.
Right? We'll create.
Yeah.
Now, because I've been in the profession long enough, I know exactly how long it takes to
Yeah.
create certain things.
Yeah.
Right? So, for example, I'll know. Let's say you're doing a print ad. I know that you'll need about 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever, to create that. Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you've essentially written one headline for a social media post for 8 hours, I know some bullshit is going on because that's
Yeah. So I'm saying that's a person problem. See, it's not a global problem, it's a local problem, is what I'm trying to say, right? But I think the reason why people are being called back to office is essentially leadership insecurity and their sense of having control. Productivity is not changing. So have organizations grown lesser during COVID when people are working from home? The same organization, if everything else was equal, all other things equal, have organizations grown lesser because people are working from home? I suspect not.
But you wanted to start an office. Why did you want to start an office?
Oh, because I enjoy it.
But you
I still want to start an office. I enjoy the feeling of sitting with my team and working with them together. It's not because I can get them to do more work.
Right. So I know how that feels. I love that as well.
Yeah.
Right. Now, because all of us are remote, it's not the same. If you can connect on a Zoom call and it's
not so again, my reason, what you articulated earlier, that people do less work, right? That's not my reason. As in, it's got nothing to do with productivity. I just enjoy the feeling. I like spending time with my team.
No, but this is when you sit together and brainstorm, and when you think as a group, you will come up with better stuff. Is my hypothesis.
Agreed. But in a lot of organizations, right, where, so let's say if you were a IT services provider, where this brainstorming of 1,000 engineers was not happening very often, right? As in,
never used to happen.
Never happened before, not needed now. Why are they being called back? It's a fake sense of control which leadership team needs. It's leadership insecurity.
Yeah.
Right? It's not work productivity.
Yeah.
Right? That's the problem. And I think the systems being built, the systems are not changing fast enough. In fact, we are grappling with this, right? As in, we have these conversations all the time. And number one, I think one biggest problem is that, and this is a generational issue, right? Our parents said that we didn't work hard enough. We don't have the same work ethic that they did.
Yeah.
Right? The same conversation we are also having, right? So that's one generational problem. Number two, I think people in the leadership role have no real understanding of aspirations of most of their team.
Most of?
Their team that works with them, right? Now think of it this way. Imagine these people, right? This bunch of people who are working in your team to be your customers. It doesn't matter why they want their life to be a certain way. It doesn't matter. If they were your customers and you were a brand, you wouldn't go behind asking the question, oh, why do they want this? Why do they want their cushion cover to be pink? I don't like the color pink. You would just make a pink fucking cushion cover, right? Here, for some reason, we are not treating them the same. They are internal customers or employees or teams.
So here's my problem with that.
Hear me out. So the point is, number one, we don't understand what they want. We are unwilling to change systems, and all we are doing is sitting and just blaming that things are not working, things are broken. I don't know what steps proactively people are taking. Like, I struggle with this. I try to find solutions, but at a systemic level, I don't have an answer. How do I change structure, right? Structural changes in the way we operate to be able to drive collective aspiration? Because great organizations are what, right? Companies' aspiration, consumers' aspiration, and employees' aspirations intersect at some level, right? That's great organizations. Here, company and consumer we are solving for, but this piece is completely, no one has a clue.
So I agree with you on the fact that there are certain things that you can do to better the structure and working styles and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Work from home, work from office, whatever. So things like that. But at a fundamental level, between building for yourself and building for a generation, I disagree vehemently there. And I'll give you a metaphor.
Hmm.
If someone were to walk into our house,
Hmm.
right? This is a fucking riot of colors. God knows what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? You're sitting on a multicolor couch. Now, someone walks in and says, you know what? I fucking don't dig this. I like walls white,
Hmm.
right? It's too much of color hotspots. This is not my scene. Now, I'm not going to fucking change the color of my wall to suit you.
It's interesting you say that, right? And this is also a mindset thing. Are you considering people who work in the team as guests, or are you considering them as people who stay in that room? If there were people who stay in that room, and if they don't like the color, you'll fucking change the color because they are equal stakeholders in the house.
No, so for example, I'm considering them as flatmates.
No, you're not. You're saying they walked into the house and they don't like it, and now I'm going to change it, right?
No, but if they had that room,
Yeah.
right? Like Mimi, that's
Yeah.
Mimi's room.
Yeah.
She had full liberty to color the wall whatever she
Exactly,
wanted.
right? So you are willing to make accommodations for people who are insiders.
But there's a difference here. There is this room which is the central room, and then there are ancillary rooms which are the bedrooms.
Yeah.
Right now, there are things that you bring to the table,
Correct.
right, which will shape the company culture.
So we said values. So values are unchangeable. Agreed.
Yeah.
So the metaphor is going towards value system. I will not change. I
Correct.
want a colorful house.
Correct.
Agreed.
Vibe, value system. Yeah, and there
Yeah.
are things that you will come in and you'll bring your own culture into the place.
Yes.
Right.
So for example, if I was a permanent resident in this living room, I would say I don't like this fucking red table. Right? And the conversation, if I was a permanent resident, would ideally be, okay, what color would you prefer? Right? And not that this is the table, take it or leave it. You know the difference?
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say. I'm saying you don't change values, you don't change who you are, what you're trying to build, but you make accommodations for people who are who are in the house.
Correct.
That's all. Here, I don't think we are making enough accommodations. So, for example, let's say hypothetically, right?
Doesn't that go into a empathy stroke?
No, I'm saying, see, it does, but I'm saying structural accommodations. The way work is designed.
Let's take an example of the real workplace.
I'll take one example. I was coming to that. So, for example, Desmond. Okay. Desmond is very, Desmond for people who don't know is leads creative and content at 367. Desmond is very passionate about rock climbing. Okay. Till now, I know this about Desmond.
Yeah.
This is something that he's told me when we were doing his interview process, right?
Yeah.
Passion in life does it relentlessly. And Desmond hasn't done it. But if suppose Desmond had articulated this for me, that hey, listen, every quarter I travel for 4 days and I find a new hill to climb, right? Now, the traditional work, the way it is designed, every quarter there'll be a disruption for a week if he travels for 4 days. What am I doing to enable that this doesn't happen? Can I change his work stream in some way where that disruption is managed, right?
But this comes to a humane/empathy.
No.
For example, if Desmond going for leave for whatever is perfectly fine, whether he's going for rock climbing or he's going to learn the guitar or wherever, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Right. As a company, you have to give him those 4 days of leave. You're giving him those 4 days of leave.
Yeah.
Right. You will switch your workflow a little bit
Yeah.
to accommodate for that.
Yeah.
Right. I am saying Desmond likes rock climbing. So, hey, let's all have rocks as our background wallpaper on Zoom.
No, I'm not saying that. And nobody is expecting that.
So what you are talking about is not the equivalent of us talking about this table and saying, hey, you know what? I don't like this table. And then we'll have a conversation about, is Do you like the design of this table, the
Okay.
colors,
Okay.
whatever?
So let me give you another example, which pans across people. Okay. No, Desmond is a unique case. Okay. And very simplistic example. We as a company take respect very seriously. Okay. And respect for us means the following: nobody within the organization will misbehave with people who are senior, junior, colleagues, whatever. They will not misbehave with brand partners. Also, brand partners will not misbehave with the team, right? All these three, right? Now, how does this enforcement happen? Right? You have to kind of figure out a way to enforce this as well, right? Now, this is something which you do, which impacts everybody. There are certain things which impact few people. There are certain things which have organization level impact, right? Back in the day, 20 years back, nobody would even bother. Your boss would yell at you,
Yeah.
and that was fairly acceptable.
5 years back, I got yelled at by my boss.
Yeah, I last time I would have got yelled at my boss
5 years back.
2008 or 2009 or something, right? And it never even struck me back that time that, oh, this is a respect issue, right? You assume that people in authority had the right to scold you,
Yeah.
right? But now that's just not acceptable,
Mm.
right? And you kind of enforce this, right?
Mm.
Organization level changes, structural level changes for people.
Mm.
I'm saying things have to change. I think our rate of change is very slow. That's the point I'm trying to make. Again, I don't know answers, right? Now, you might say that there might be some people who are only willing to work 5 hours a day. That's what they want to do. Okay. It doesn't fit your work today, because you are designed for a 8 into 5, right? 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's how you structure work. What happens if there's a real valuable talent whom you think can really add value, but is only willing to give you 4 hours?
Yeah, I've never been about the hours.
No, I'm just giving.
output.
I'm not saying you have been. I'm just giving you an example, right? I'm saying.
Yeah, but like as long as the output is, I don't see a problem.
Yeah, but it doesn't fit the structure. I'm saying structurally,
Correct.
there'll have to be some changes and some accommodations to kind of fit aspirations. And again, aspirations for a large majority of people is not less work, by the way. I think that's also a misnomer, where we believe that the younger generation doesn't want to work. It's not less work. I think it's something else. It's probably different kind of work. What work means to them is different, etc. That's where we have to find answers.
No, but I'm saying so can an individual shape culture? I think we started from that.
Yes.
Right? Now, so for example, let's say that there is a workplace which has mixed ethnicity, right? People from different cultures, different countries, this, that, whatever, right? There is one senior guy who's there at this place, and he or she makes it their mandate to the HR partner, saying, I'm only going to hire Hindus. Now that is hugely problematic, right? Because that is shaping the company, it's feeding back into the company culture.
Yeah.
This person should not be allowed to do this. This is changing the fabric of the culture. It's bringing in something to your point of, hey, you want to change the color of the table. So at which point you have to put your foot down and say, no, you cannot fucking change the color of the table.
Okay, so again, you are number one, and again, this is going to sound controversial. The premise here is that
I'm bringing this up because I know a person like this, by the way.
So the premise here is that for you, your belief is that multi-ethnic teams do better, or hold on. Or as an organization, they intentionally created a multi-ethnic team.
No.
It happened organically. So if ethnicity has no bearing,
correct,
then
Why should there be a mandate to hire?
But then this shouldn't matter either way, na? If there's a mandate or not.
Then it should matter. I'll tell you why it should matter.
Why?
For example, I'll tell you why. Let's say I'm looking for a copywriter.
Yeah.
I'm hiring for a copywriter, right?
Yeah.
And my first level is looking at someone's portfolio,
Yeah.
right? Post portfolio's interview. At the portfolio stage, I am not filtering by ethnicity,
Yeah.
right? Case one.
It's narrowing the pool, yes, for sure.
It's case one. Case two is the other guy who is narrowing by Hindu,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That is a major difference.
No. Okay. So hold on. Again, so let's assume that ethnicity did not matter in the past. It doesn't matter in the future. Okay?
The work should matter.
The work should matter. But if suppose somebody comes in and puts a filter of saying that, hey, I'm going to hire great talent, but they, by the way, have to be Hindu.
But I'm only going to be looking for Hindus, no? Then.
Yeah. So it's a bad hiring choice because the pool will become smaller. But if ethnicity doesn't matter, how will it matter?
Because the way that you're hiring, the
I know that the
matters.
pool will become smaller, right?
Mindset
If there are 100,
Your mindset matters.
yeah.
Talent, you're saying that the output may not matter. I agree with you. The output may not.
No, I'm saying from a cultural standpoint, if ethnicity, so the follow up to this is, if there was intentional preferential treatment to people of a certain ethnicity, okay, then my answer.
But this is exactly what it is.
No, it's my hiring
preferential treatment, which is why I'm hiring.
No, it's just stupid hiring decisions. If somebody is going down that path, right? But and one person has changed this, but in the larger organizational context, if ethnicity has no bearing on how you're compensated or how you're rewarded or how you're appreciated or not, then it should.
If I was the CEO of the company, this is a conversation I would have said that who the fuck are you?
I agree with you. I wouldn't make that decision, but I'm saying that. So I know where you're coming from, right? As in this would also then go towards gender hiring, right? Why are the gender quotas in organizations?
Correct.
Right? There shouldn't be gender quotas.
There should not be gender quotas.
So it's a.
I've had this very complicated conversation with a lot of people. I think there should be no gender quotas. I think so. I'm talking about for all roles actually.
Yeah. So here's how it is, right? As in, so there I agree, right? Any sort of quotas fundamentally are problematic, but you also have to be sensitive to why those quotas were created.
Correct. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Representation.
And representation for what?
For equality. Equality in the workplace.
No, not for the sake of equality.
Not for the sake of equality. Yeah. So, actual equality in the workplace.
No, actual equality doesn't matter. As in, I don't care whether a company has 5% men and 95% women or vice versa.
No. Opportunities for men and opportunities for women should be same. There should be no difference between the opportunity a man gets and the opportunity a woman gets.
Yeah. So
hence hire both men and women.
Yeah. So the historical argument is that there were certain genders and certain ethnicities who were not given enough opportunity.
Correct.
To kind of
marginalized.
To get to a place where they could even participate in equal opportunity scenarios, right? Yeah. Till that happens, you give them quota-based opportunities. Absolutely okay, right? So principally, if you don't discriminate, right? As in, if in your head the decision making is around talent capability versus where they come from and what they do, I think all these things really don't matter. As in, I don't think they're drivers of culture. Where in the real world, by the way, all these things are, right? As in, it would be foolish to say that gender and religion and ethnicity have no bearing in your career.
No, but it's very complex and it's very complicated because, let me pose a hypothetical situation to you. I'm saying that ethnicity does not matter, gender does not matter.
Yeah.
In the organization I want to build, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? Now, today, I have more women than men at the World's company.
I probably have more as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But let's say that I'm not the founder of World's company, I'm building another company, right? Now, because these things don't matter to me, ethnicity doesn't matter, gender doesn't matter, nothing matters, right? I'm looking for great talent. Now, comes the interesting bit. Organically, not through anything of filter of mine, organically, over the past 3 years, it's just so happened that there have only been men. It's just so happened that there have only been men. I had no role to play in this.
Yeah. Or the other way around. Let's answer. Let's say that you build a company of 100 people where there were 80 women and 20 men. Let's take that example.
Yeah. Now the culture of this place
Yeah.
sheer by the gender. For example, in the boys' company, it will be a fucking sausage fest, right? And it would be for a woman, now organically, let's say a woman comes in, right? It would be a very uncomfortable place.
So the same thing applies the other way around as well, right?
Correct,
If you reach an office where there are like a large majority of women
Yeah.
and there are 5 dudes,
Yeah.
they will have a similar experience.
Correct, absolutely.
Yeah.
So this also inadvertently and organically
Yeah.
shapes the culture of the place.
Yeah, but then those are hiring leadership HR choices, right? As in, if you start finding that because of a particular representation of a certain set of people, if it is impacting the larger group, right? You start doing directional hiring. You do that, right? Like in departments which are overrepresented by a particular gender, there will be mandates by saying that, hey, listen, we have to change the gender mix, right? So you make those choices. As in, you don't let it reach a stage where there are like 95 women and 5 dudes in a company, right? As in, if you want to, you can, right? But if it's causing friction, right? As in, if you find that it's causing friction, then you don't let it reach that. You can make those choices. But it's not impact on culture, right? One way to say this is that if there are 95 women and 5 guys in a company, that's the culture you set out to make, which is fine.
It does impact culture, dude. The men in that organization will have a boys' club. The boys are going to be staying at work late. Because
No. Again, see, you are taking stereotypical examples. Take the example of 95 women and 5 men. Now give me what will happen.
In both ways. In both ways
So
it is shaped.
again, when you're articulating this, you're articulating the 95 men and 5 women example. Articulate the 95 women and 5 men example. What do you think will happen if there are 95 women in office and 5 men?
I think it will be a very, very balanced workplace.
See, why do you think that is the case?
Because men function very differently.
So 95 women and 5 men will be balanced and 95 men and 5 women will not be balanced.
Yeah, that's what I think.
No, that's not going to happen. It's going to be the same. Just because you don't have that experience, ask 5 guys who are sitting with 95 women in office. You think they'll not feel marginalized? Why will they not feel marginalized? So essentially you are saying...
No, I'm sorry, I'm not talking about being marginalized or not. I'm talking about the culture of the workplace. I'm talking about timings of work, how someone works, how someone interacts, the value systems. I'm talking about all of that. I'm not about being marginalized. I'm sure they'll feel marginalized.
So there you go.
But
the nature of how they will feel marginalized will become different, right?
Just through numbers. That's the only thing.
Why? Through behavior. They will feel excluded. They will not be part of conversations. Like women feel excluded with men. Why do you think that's not going to happen? You think men are intentional assholes? I don't think that is the case.
No,
there is tribal instinct fundamentally in people. When you go outside and you find 5 Indians, you meet 5 Indians in Europe, you start talking in Hindi. Why is that? It's tribal instinct. It's finding some sources of connection. The same thing will happen either way. But if as an organization you want to build a company, right, which has 95% women, fine. The 5 men that you get, right, who are part of the company, should be okay with it. You should find men who want to work in that environment. And the men who want to work in a balanced environment will not join the company. I'm saying neither is good or bad. And the same thing applies. If a woman is joining an organization which has 95% men, there will be, and again, I'm qualifying this again and again. Inappropriate workplace behavior is unacceptable either way, right? But when there is homogeneity in a certain segment of people, there is tribalism which happens. That's basic human nature. You as a woman or as a man which is going in an unrepresented organization, it's your choice. You should not expect to be part of the culture the same way that the represented group will have. It's just not going to happen. Why is that even an expectation?
Well, that's exactly, I mean, this situation doesn't exist from
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
my knowledge.
Yeah, this doesn't exist, right? But I'm saying whichever groups, right? Like, so by the way, okay, so casual example, right? Your neighbors, all of them here, right? When they're sitting here, And I don't have a problem with it, right? But like suppose there are 10 people who come for dinner here, you guys will break into conversation in Bengali because most of you are Bengali, right? I don't feel I miss half the conversation. I don't give a flying fuck, right? And you guys are not doing it intentionally, but there is basic tribal tendencies. I miss out on that conversation. Appropriate behavior, you shouldn't be talking in a group in a language which two people in the group don't understand, but you still do it.
Correct. Very interesting. Very.
Hold on.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, but do you do it intentionally? No.
No.
Do I feel impacted? No. If it mattered to me, if suppose this was my primary hangout group, right? If I was spending 8 hours with this group and this was happening, I would like, what the fuck is going on here? Same thing. It's just human behavior. You and I, we do it. When the three of us are hanging out, you guys break into Bengali on multiple occasions. It's just how people are.
Okay. We'll wrap up with one culture defining moment. A defining moment in your life, in your career, when you went for an interview or when you were at a place which it made you feel either, yes, I'm at the right place, or fuck, no, this is not for me.
Not for me has not happened. I don't think culture, as in I've just worked with.
So could be some small little thing that
No, so I've worked with 3 organizations, right? ITC, Dabur and GSK. Neither of these places I've ever felt that this was not right from a cultural standpoint, as in that's never happened. In fact, and I think I've been fortunate that way, where there has been a lot of leaders who have interacted with in the past, where there has been significant demonstration that you want to be part of that mix, right? People stand up for you. If you get into shit, people say, hold on, we'll help you manage this. That's happened to me. And I think that's what, at least for me, that matters a lot. And I think I've had that. So that way I've been kind of lucky.
No, what I'm looking for is a conversation or an incident or some. Has there never been a moment in your life where you felt,
yeah, so,
I'm at the right place?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, right? Very interesting. My last day at GSK, and that happened to be my last day where I worked for anybody else as well, was everything done, paperwork done. I was about to leave and I was just meeting people in the end, right? And at that point in time, the India MD CEO was Mr. Zubair Ahmed. And I had a bit of a relationship with him because I was involved in a project where it was just me and him working on a project, right? So went up to his cabin through his assistant, said that I want to meet boss before I go. Walked into the cabin and I just said that, hey, listen, this is my last day and I just wanted to say bye. And the levels of seniority, there were many people in between, right? He had no business to know that I had resigned, right? And he said that, yeah, I know. And I had a conversation about your resignation. And had I heard that you were going and working for another organization, I would have intervened. But knowing you that you're going to do something on your own, I thought that we should all be supportive. And for me, 2 things, right? Number one, he knew. He cared enough, he knew. And the answer he gave that because you are doing something on your own, good, and tell me how I can help in the future. I was like, yeah, that's it.
Great place.
Great place.
Yeah.
That's what you want from leaders, right?
Yeah. So I'll tell you a good thing where I felt, yeah, I belong. And I'll also tell you for an incident where I felt, I walked into this agency, very, very well known for its creative work. And the first thing that I saw at my interview, I haven't even gotten a job, still at the interview stage. I see a beautiful drawing room with a couch and a wooden horse and a library which is, imagine this wall into 3.
Okay.
That's how big the library was. And that told me that I was going to be working with essentially children who are so curious and so obsessed with knowledge and craft and design and just toys. Yeah.
Hold on. Large living room with a huge ass library,
A rocking horse.
a rocking horse, and
There was a massive ship also.
ship, rocking horse, huge library, large living room. You think you're going to work with kids?
No, by kids I meant
Curious people,
yeah, childlike.
childlike people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I definitely want to work here. So I did manage to work there. Great experience. And the other incident, again, interview level, right? I'm waiting. So I've been called in for an interview at I think 12:30 or something. I've come in early. I usually go in early. But 12:20 I'm there, right? So the receptionist asked me. So I'm reporting into. I'm supposed to. The woman who's taking my interview is going to be my boss. So the receptionist says that she's on her way. Just hang on for a few minutes. Those few minutes, so 12:20, let's say 12:30, right, is when the interview was going to start. She walked in at 1:15, okay, to the small little conference room. The first thing she did when she walked in was plonk herself on the chair, put her feet up on the table, and say, "Ha, bata." And in my head, this interview was over. I was never going to be at that place. I was never going to work with her. Ever. No matter how much money was involved. And see, so at first interaction level, what I came away with thinking, yeah, this agency is like this.
Yeah.
Right.
So coming back to
Correct.
the manager.
But at first
Yeah.
level, maybe had I worked there and had I seen the agency at play, I would have thought, maybe this agency is not that bad at all. It's like other agencies. Maybe it was just this woman who was problematic.
Yeah.
The same thing would have applied had it been a man putting this exam on.
Yeah.
Like, for me, that's a complete no-no. Not at all. Now you put your, like, I've had bosses put their feet up on a table all the time. Not a problem.
Yeah. I do it quite often. Nobody sees it because I'm on video call.
Yeah, it's fine. Not a problem. But once you get to work with a person, have the comfort level, sure. But at first interaction level, no fucking way.
Yeah. It's complicated, man. I think culture itself is complicated, and I think we're all grappling. That's where it is.
Yeah.
On that note,
We shall end this podcast.
and this is your camera, so say like, comment,
Like, comment, share,
and subscribe.
If you like this podcast,
To this living room.
There should be more coming up.
And Bombay Banta is really good. Once again,
This has been not sponsored by Bombay.
nobody.
We should say this at the end.